There is a ship parked in the Mediterranean right now that costs more to maintain for a single year than most people will earn across their entire lifetime. We're not talking about a cruise ship. No paying passengers, no public access, just one person, their guests, and a floating palace the size of a city block. And here's the thing nobody talks about. The price tag to buy it is actually the cheapest part of the whole equation. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why, and you'll never look at the ocean the same way again. What even makes a yacht a super yacht? Most people picture a nice boat when they hear the word yacht. Maybe something with a sundeck, a small cabin, a cooler full of drinks. That is not what we are talking about today. The yachts on this list exist in a completely different category. One where the industry actually invented a new word to describe them: super yacht. And to even qualify, a vessel has to be at least 24 meters long. The ones we're covering dwarf that number completely. Think of it this way. If a regular luxury yacht is a penthouse apartment, a super yacht is an entire skyscraper, with a helipad, a submarine bay, a movie theater, and a crew of 50 people whose only job is making sure you never have to lift a finger. These are not boats. They are private nations that happen to float. But here's where things get interesting. The line between super yacht and mega yacht is where billionaires start competing with each other. The price tags that actually break your brain. Let's talk numbers, because this is where the reality of extreme wealth becomes almost impossible to process. The History Supreme, a yacht built for a Malaysian businessman, reportedly cost $4.8 billion. Not billion. It was wrapped in over 100,000 kilograms of gold and platinum, with a statue made from genuine T-Rex bones standing at the bow. The master bedroom wall was covered in meteorite fragments, actual space rock, on a boat. Then there's the Azam, at 180 meters long. It held the title of the world's longest private yacht for years. Built for a member of the Abu Dhabi royal family, it cost around $600 million and can reach speeds that most cargo ships could never dream of. And Eclipse, owned by Roman Abramovich, came in around $1.5 billion and reportedly features 2 helipads, a disco hall, a laser-based defense system against paparazzi cameras, and a submarine. A submarine on a private boat just to go look at fish whenever the mood strikes. Now, this next part might surprise you because buying the yacht is not actually the hard part. The annual cost that nobody talks about here is the number that genuinely shocks people. The rule of thumb in the yacht industry is that you spend roughly 10% of the purchase price every single year just to keep the thing running. That means a $600 million yacht burns through about $60 million per year before you've even untied it from the dock. That covers the crew salaries, and on a mega yacht, you can have anywhere from 50 to 100 full-time staff, all of them trained professionals earning competitive wages. Then there's fuel. A large super yacht running at full speed can burn through 500 liters of diesel per hour. Add docking fees at premium marinas like Monaco or St. Tropez, insurance, regular maintenance, refits that can run into tens of millions every few years, and suddenly the sticker price feels like just the beginning. One industry insider put it simply: if you have to ask what it costs to run, you definitely can't afford one. That line isn't arrogant, it's just math. So why does this matter? Because the most expensive yachts aren't just expensive, they're designed to justify every single dollar. What's actually inside these floating palaces? When designers build a super yacht for a billionaire client, the brief is basically, think of everything a 5-star hotel has, and then make it smaller, lighter, waterproof, and able to handle 12-foot waves. The results are genuinely extraordinary. The Jubilee yacht features multiple pools, a beach club that opens right out to the waterline, a glass elevator, and enough guest suites to host a small wedding. The Kismet, owned by a Pakistani-American tech investor, has a fully stocked gym, a spa, a cinema, and a beach club that converts into a nightclub after dark. The Seven Seas, once owned by Steven Spielberg, has a massive library, a dedicated film screening room, and art collection storage with climate control. Some of the newer builds go even further. We're seeing yachts with indoor basketball courts, rock climbing walls mounted on the hull, and underwater observation lounges with floor-to-ceiling glass where you can watch the ocean pass beneath you. At that point, it stops being transportation and becomes something else entirely. A statement of what is possible when money is genuinely not a constraint. Jeff Bezos made headlines globally when his sailing yacht Kourou was revealed. a three-masted sailing vessel over 127 meters long that required a support yacht just to carry the helicopter that wouldn't fit on the main boat. Larry Ellison, co-founder of Oracle, owns the Musashi, a vessel so large it's essentially a naval vessel in disguise. Elon Musk reportedly still owns a yacht, though far more modest by comparison. What's interesting is how these purchases are often justified internally. For many of these owners, the yacht isn't just recreation. It's a mobile headquarters, a retreat from surveillance, and sometimes a tax structure. Several billionaires register their vessels in countries with favorable maritime laws, turning an extreme luxury purchase into something their accountants can actually work with. But the yacht building industry itself tells an even bigger story about where the world's wealth is actually flowing. The shipyards where billionaire dreams get built, you cannot just walk into a dealership and buy a super yacht. These vessels are custom built from scratch by a small number of specialist shipyards, mostly concentrated in the Netherlands, Germany, and Italy. The wait time for a truly large custom build can be anywhere from 3 to 7 years, and the design process reads more like commissioning a piece of architecture than ordering a vehicle. Lürssen in Germany is the shipyard behind the Asm, the Eclipse, and dozens of other landmark vessels. They employ hundreds of engineers, naval architects, interior designers, and craftspeople. Fedship in the Netherlands is known for pushing technical boundaries. They built the home yachts of some of the world's richest people. Benetti in Italy handles more of the old-world luxury builds, all marble finishes and hand-stitched leather. The people who work in these shipyards will spend years building a single vessel, welding the hull, wiring the systems, laying the floors, installing custom furniture, knowing that the owner might only board it a handful of times each year. There's something both surreal and quietly impressive about that level of craftsmanship in service of such extreme leisure. So why does all of this exist? Because the most expensive yachts aren't just assets. They're a completely different relationship with freedom. Why billionaires actually choose yachts over everything else? When you get to a certain level of wealth, the traditional signifiers of status stop working. A private jet gets you from A to B, but everyone at that level has one. A second or third house is impressive, but it's fixed. It sits there. But a yacht? A yacht can be in Monaco for the Grand Prix in May, in the Greek islands in July, anchored off the Maldives in December, and tied up in the Caribbean in February. It is freedom that moves. There's also an element of genuine privacy that almost no other luxury purchase provides. When you're on your yacht, anchored 3 miles offshore, you are essentially outside every country's reach in a practical sense. No paparazzi, no fans, no unexpected encounters. Just ocean, sky, and whoever you invited aboard. For people who live their lives in the full glare of public attention, that kind of invisible bubble has a value that no price tag can fully capture. Now the final piece, because the most surprising thing about the world's most expensive yachts isn't the price. It's what they say about us, what the most expensive yachts actually tell us. There's a version of this conversation that's just about the spectacle. The gold, the submarines, the price tags with 9 zeros. And honestly, that spectacle is genuinely fascinating and worth enjoying on its own terms. But if you zoom out a little, what the world's most expensive private yachts actually represent is something more interesting than shock value. They are the physical proof of how far human engineering, craftsmanship, and design can go when money is entirely removed as a limiting factor. Every technical problem gets solved. Every material gets sourced. Every comfort gets engineered. In a strange way, superyachts are as much about human capability as they are about wealth concentration. They also reveal something about aspiration. The fact that billions of people will watch videos about these vessels, read about them, and talk about them with genuine curiosity suggests that luxury speaks to something universal. Hit like if you learned something new today, subscribe if you want more, and I'll see you in the next one.